Hey. All right, everyone. Thank you very much for coming down. My name is Barry Gertzen. I'm the Field CTO for Channels and Alliances at Boomi. And for the next 20 minutes, we're going to discuss how to harness Boomi AI and AWS for data integration and automation. Quick question for anyone who's out there right now. Before I get started, are there any current Boomi customers right now? Okay. Any long-time Boomi customers? Maybe over 3 or 4 years? Long time? Okay, very good. Great, and thank you for joining us. I appreciate it, and of course we appreciate your patronage as well. Now, if you're not currently a Boomi customer, you might be wondering to yourself, well, hey, what's a Boomi? What do these guys do? Know that what we offer is a cloud-native, unified platform that offers easy ways to be able to configure integrations, to be able to do API management, to be able to do data management, and also to be able to do AI. And we have AI that's built into the platform, as well as AI that we enable within your organizations. And we're going to talk about both of those things today. Now, for the purposes of today's conversation, I'm going to keep things in this discussion mostly limited to the application integration scenarios, specifically as it relates to AWS. Of course, we are at an AWS convention, so it made sense to do so. And I'm also going to tour you through Boomi AI. And I'm going to talk about how those two things, that is specifically Kendra and Bedrock, and how they tend to go together kind of like chocolate and peanut butter to be able to make the AI things that you do, be able to make those good things that you do, make them great things. So that's what we have on the docket with me today. It's an ambitious agenda for 18 minutes, but you with me so far? All right, here we go. So when I started off by asking if there were any longtime customers that we happen to have out there in the audience, it's because we've actually been in the business of integrating data for nearly 2 decades now. In fact, Gartner happens to credit us for having created the iPaaS space back in 2006. So during those prehistoric days when you were using your BlackBerry, maybe you were listening to your debut Fall Out Boy album, and maybe this young man in the front happened to have like an unfortunate boy band haircut, maybe with frosted tips. Was that you? That might have been me. Okay, maybe that was me. But right around that time, we at Boomi, we were busy creating the iPaaS space. And in the nearly 2 decades that have since passed, we've been capturing metadata on the ways in which people actually use our platform to create integrations. So we have more data than anyone, literally over 300 million integrations worth of domain-specific knowledge of the ways in which people connect to their applications, the ways they connect to their databases, the way they connect to mail servers, file servers, EDI scenarios. We've done it all, and we've captured that metadata to be able to provide you with a suite of capabilities that harness the power of generative AI to integrate applications and to automate workflows faster. So using Boomi, the idea here is to be able to deliver business outcomes through a conversational GPT interface. So what we want to enable you to do is to use natural language to be able to build integrations, so that no longer do you have to learn a tool, it's more like the tool needs to learn you. And that's the idea behind what we are bringing to the table. Unlike some other tools in the market that also or might be using AI solely to offer a co-pilot experience, Boomi's AI is actually generative. Which is to say, it doesn't just co-pilot, it can also design, it can create, it can build. And that's the idea here. So what we'll do is we're going to first demonstrate these 6 AI agents that you see on the screen here. That is specifically Boomi Answers, Boomi Scribe, Boomi GPT, Boomi Data Detective, and Boomi Design Gen. And I'm going to demonstrate that these are built into the platform and available to anyone who takes part in our platform licensing. So they're just built and waiting for you to use. So the first 2 agents that we'll introduce here are Boomi GPT and Boomi Design Gen. And I'm just going to hit the play button on this little video, and away we go. So in this particular example, what we're going to do is we have an integration to be able to complete, and the integration that we're looking to do is to be able to get orders from Shopify and to be able to send it to an Amazon S3 bucket. And Boomi will go forward and take a look and create what looks like, or what appears to be on the surface, a wireframe of that particular integration. It does so based on your natural language query. You didn't have to learn a tool, you didn't have to code anything at all. It just took your natural language, and it enables business people to actually do technical things within the organization. So we're looking to democratize innovation to be able to free up IT resources to be able to do more complicated things, to be able to make business people more effectual in their everyday jobs, because business folks have a lot of good ideas, and what better a way to unlock them, to be able to give them the tooling to be able to do to be able to do what they need to do in natural language with no having to create or to have to memorize a new tool or take time to train up on it. Now, within this current example, this is the wireframe of an integration. But let's say that I want to take this a step further and I want to make this actually do or add in exception handling. Notice I just put in add exception handling here, and then Boomi goes about putting in a try-catch block. Quick question, where are my developers at? Anybody here doing development? Yeah, I know you do. Other people? Any developers here? Okay. A try-catch block will allow you to be able to capture errors and be able to write out to a log, or be able to put whatever functionality you want to put in the catch block, responding to an error, for example. And in saying just add exception handling, Boomi did the error handling for you, added it to your particular example. Now, if I want to even take that even further, and I wanted to be able to say something like add another branch of execution inside of the integration that I've just built, I could say, like I'm doing right here, let's add in a branch that also sends orders to a queue. And a lot of times if you're using a queuing mechanism, it could be Kafka, it could be JMS, it could even be Boomi's own event streams that we offer as part of our bundle as well. And you see here, the branch comes in, puts the queue in, and depending upon where Boomi puts it, you can even modify the wireframe so that you can change the location of the branch to happen maybe after the transformation step and the mapping step that happens to be able to take that information. So now, what it's sending to the queue isn't necessarily the raw data, it's actually taking the transformed data following the mapping step in your Shopify example. So this is Boomi, again, reacting to you, and notice that along the way, you can add a little thumbs up or a thumbs down based upon the reaction and if Boomi is actually helping you along to achieve your results. So in this way, the Boomi tool can actually get better. Just like you can get better using the Boomi tool can get better listening to you. And the longer you use it, the better the Boomi tool will get. Now, the other thing that Boomi can do is once you've come down and you've said, okay, the integration looks good, Boomi can prompt you for the connection details to be able to connect your endpoints. That is specifically the Shopify endpoint, the Amazon endpoint, and the messaging queue. And you can either use an existing connection that you might have created in the past, or you can create a new connection on the fly. This gives you the ability to be able to configure this right within the workflow. And then once you say looks good, Boomi can go and build out the rest of it within the Boomi process canvas. So you just say take a look, and if you've used Boomi before, you'll recognize this view. This is the process canvas view, which we use to do more advanced configuration. So you can drag and drop tools onto the screen and easily create integrations using our drag and drop configuration. Questions so far? Are you with me? Good. So now let's say I wanted to go into this next slide, and what I'll do is click here, and this next AI agent that we have is called Boomi Scribe. Now I said before that there were a couple developers out into the wild there. Who here likes doing documentation? Where'd you guys all go? No, nobody? All right. So what Boomi can do is actually can give you the ability to automatically generate documentation based on the integrations that you create through the AI tool. So here you see as I click on the process documentation button, Boomi's going to go through creating all of the documentation that went into this integration that was created through AI. Worth noting here is that it doesn't have to be an AI example. This could be literally any process that is created in Boomi. Boomi will automatically create very complex and very lengthy and thorough documentation. So that takes away a pain point that most developers will really appreciate from you. Now, the other thing that Boomi can do is we have Boomi Answers, and like any good GPT agent, this will save you time in the way in which you can get Boomi-specific knowledge shared in the questions that you ask. Like here is a question that I've prompted that is saying, why is my process not splitting my XML documents? And Boomi can offer you an explanation, and it could give you, any possible causes that could be the root of the problem. And the nice thing about this is that we're actually using RAG, which stands for Retrieval Augmented Generation, to be able to supplement Boomi's response. So what this gives you the ability to do is it's not like just asking ChatGPT something. This will give you Boomi specific intelligence to be able to troubleshoot an issue. And the way RAG operates is that it provides a contextual answer. So what we're doing is we're searching through those 2 decades of community documentation, community feedback, community articles, in order to be able to provide you the very best possible answer, and to also give you a Boomi documentation link so that you can go in and research it further. So this makes you much more effective at being able to troubleshoot your issues. Now, another thing that we offer is Boomi CodeMode. This will allow you, and well, it's worth noting, first of all, that usually when we talk to people about how they're using Boomi, it's worth noting, let me go back one slide. It's worth noting that most people don't do a lot of coding or don't have to do a lot of coding using Boomi. That's actually the purpose of using Boomi, is that you don't want to have to code anything. However, in case you want to do some complex transformation, we'll let you code. There are places in the process canvas that allow you to be able to do transformations. Something similar to what you're seeing here, where maybe you're looking to create a username based on the first letter of a user's first name, plus their entire last name, and then maybe also making some random digit at the end of it to ensure uniqueness. You can have Boomi go back and build that code for you, so that no longer do you have to worry about going out to some other GPT agent that doesn't actually understand GroovyScript, or doesn't do SQL very well, or doesn't do JavaScript very well like it's doing here. Boomi can do this all for you, and once again, it can provide you with a documentation link so as you can delve further on the subject that you're looking to be able to explore. And then, of course, you can cut and paste that into a transformation scripting agent box within the Boomi process canvas. This brings us to Boomi Data Detective, and this can be particularly useful because we know that integration processes contain data, and that data can be sensitive and it can be personal. Boomi can be made to automatically scan your processes and classify data which could potentially contain PII, that is personally identifiable information. But not only that, in real time, Boomi can show you where in the world that data is going. So this happens to be valuable for organizations that are moving data across regions, which may be subject to different laws and regulations. And it'll also flag the type of data that it is. So your organization can be proactive about ensuring data privacy and security, and not running afoul of any regulations like GDPR, for example, which of course can contain very far-reaching consequences that are imposed by the government to organizations. So that's something that this is very helpful in being able to head off. So that was a brief tour around AI that's built into the Boomi platform, but as you know, we said before that Boomi is a powerful integration, automation, and data management platform. So what we excel at is being able to acquire data from almost any source, be it a database, FTP, business applications, event streams, whatever. We can transform that data any way you want. So why I bring that up is that Boomi becomes an excellent choice for being able to perform your AI orchestration layer to be able to satisfy your own AI objectives within your organization. Now, this slide happens to be pretty busy, but simply put, I'll break it down for you. Here at a high level, let me get my cursor onto the screen, you see that Boomi can take contextual input from your systems of record. That is your app data, your SaaS applications, your databases, your code, whatever's coming from the edge. It can take that information and it can feed your models. Basically, Boomi can orchestrate the movement of that data through your LLMs, populating your vector databases, and can help you facilitate the information as it moves to your action pipeline. That is your systems of engagement, wherever that data needs to go with your generated responses. So if you want to be able to augment Boomi as well, we can also facilitate RAG, which I mentioned before. That's Retrieval Augmented Generation. And it enables you to be able to do and solve problems kind of like this, where you get a scenario where maybe you ask Boomi GPT or you ask ChatGPT a question like, hey, can you give me a concise summary of my Salesforce opportunity with Acme Corp? And as a result, you get a reply back that looks like this, where ChatGPT says, yeah, I don't happen to have access to the proprietary information needed to be able to solve that problem. I think we've all run into this in our uses of ChatGPT. Similarly, if you've ever run into a problem like this, where you happen to put information that is date specific at a date in which ChatGPT doesn't understand because it's in the recent past, and maybe GPT doesn't go that far into the past, you might get an answer like this, where ChatGPT says something like, I can't provide a summary for that information, so I'm not going to be a lot of help for you here. So what Boomi could do is it could solve this problem. And the problem is that large language models have a broad range of knowledge, and the responses that they get will not be specific. They could contain inaccuracies, they could contain hallucinations, especially when it comes to knowledge on business-specific related topics. So what Boomi could do is Boomi could be very useful in providing contextual information to be able to make these queries much better off. So enter in, and this is where we actually also use AWS, is the RAG agent accelerator that is available inside of Boomi. So what this gives you the ability to do is to use this accelerator. Again, you could use it, anybody who happens to be using the Boomi platform can implement this, install it into their environment. And what we'll do is we offer the ability to ask any domain-specific question and generate more accurate responses based on retrieved business context. So we're adding context to these prompts so that you'll get better LLM responses. And what we're using here is Amazon. We're using Kendra and Amazon Bedrock knowledge bases for retrieving that context. And then we're using Amazon Bedrock to be able to securely communicate this with a private copy of any AWS supported LLM. So why that's important for you, especially if you're concerned about security, is that Bedrock happens to keep a private copy of that large language model. So it basically makes sure that your customer data never gets shared with multiple model providers. So that's a big security advantage. So to wrap that up, what Boomi does here in the accelerator is it allows you to submit the query. Boomi will search for related context of that information using Kendra and AWS knowledge bases. It will return the context documents that can make this prompt a more educated prompt. And then it will go in and it will basically prepare the LLM prompt the LLM, and now you'll get a much better response than some of that ChatGPT nonsense that you saw a moment ago. Now, this accelerator, as well as any AI agent, can be found in our Discover portal. This is available at discover.boomi.com, and anybody that uses our platform can use this and install AI-related examples into their environment, and they just basically, it's like having your work already 95% done. You just need to go in and configure it specific to your example. The other thing that's worth noting here is that we're going to soon offer you an AI agent framework to allow you to contribute to our library of AI agents. And you can do this for the benefit of your employees, your customers, and your partners. So this is going to be a cloud-native solution for building your own AI agents. So just like you saw me show off some cool AI agents that I was using in the first part of this demonstration, these AI agents you can also use, and you can create yourself using Boomi to make your own specific proprietary AI-related functionality. Now, since we're giving you the ability to build your own AI agents, we also recognize the fact that we're going to need to have governance, a governance layer around this, because of course we don't want shadow IT to break out within the organization. So we're also going to be introducing an AI registry in the first quarter of next year, which will offer a way to discover, register, and govern AI agents. This is going to offer you a view of AI agents across the organization, even agents built by other providers. This is going to give you a way to be able to discover AI agents, be able to monitor AI agents, and to be able to set policies around agent usage. So put it together, and you've got a complete Boomi enterprise AI management system on the way in 2025. Last thing I want to address in my final 30 seconds here is if any of this sounds daunting, if your organization can benefit from sound advice to become AI ready, note that Boomi offers free AI readiness workshops to any organization who is just now having meetings around putting together an AI story. So if you're meeting with your C-level executives right now and you're trying to answer the question, what's our AI story going to be going forward, just know that Boomi could really help you in this regard. Not only can we assist in helping you establish goals, but we can also assist in helping you to be able to develop a path toward making your data and your internal processes AI ready. And again, completely free. We're always very happy to be able to help you out there. So thank you very much today for your time and attention. If you have any questions and you'd like to be able to have more information, we encourage you to visit the Boomi booth, which is right across this booth. It's booth 514. Once again, my name is Barry Gertzen, and thank you for being the best part of my